First love yourself before anyone else. First love yourself by Trinisha Cottrell.
Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I'm so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. This year, we're going to do things a little different. The next intro may be it might be a little change in the intro, but thank you guys for sticking with me. Today, we're going to talk about healing from heartbreak. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I think that when you learn something new, the best thing that you can do is teach someone else, because you holding on to that information, when you found like a cheat code, when you found like the secret, then it's better to share it with someone else, because you don't know how many people you could help by learning something in life. If you learn something that made it easier on you, tell somebody else. You're not taking your blessings away, you're giving blessings to other people. And so I want to just encourage, inspire, to motivate you, to let you know that heartbreak didn't take you out. Like, you still breathing, you got grace and mercy on you. That means that you have another opportunity to live the life that you aspire to have. So, when you're dealing with heartbreak, sometimes I know for me in the past, one of the things that really made it super hard to move on is I just kept beating myself up. I kept feeling like, oh my gosh, like, how am I ever going to move on? I felt like I was going to be stuck on this person forever. I was going to always be hurting. I was going to always feel this way. I was going to be missing out on something. And God really put something in my spirit that allowed me to know that there's nothing that this world could take from you that God has for you. If you don't take anything else from this video, but you remember one thing, remember that. Remember that there is nothing in this world that God has for you that another person can take from you. There's no man, no person, no place, no thing, no job, no nothing that can ever take what God has just for you away. So one of the things that I struggled with at the beginning is crying to let it out. Like, I was really emotional and I was really upset, but I was crying because I was feeling like I was missing out on something. I felt like I was missing out on the guy. I was missing out on the thing. I was missing out on opportunities. I had wasted so much time. And let me tell you something. What you feel like you wasted time on, God will make up that time for you and then some. Like, I was thinking, oh, 15 years of my life is gone. What am I going to do? And God's saying, you really underestimate me that much, that knowing that he is the almighty, all powerful, abundant God that could do anything, exceedingly and abundantly above anything you could ever ask or think. And yet we put him in this box like God can only do what we did in 15 years. God can make your whole life change in one day. He could introduce you to someone that changed the trajectory of the rest of your entire life. Like, I don't think we understand when we are going through heartbreak, when things happen in our lives, that just because 2024 didn't work out doesn't mean 2025 isn't going to be better. And instead of focusing on the negative things, focus on good things in your life. Focus on the things that you do have. Focus on the things that you do aspire to do and you want and that you're grateful and thankful for. Because sometimes the thing that's tripping us up the most, that's really blocking us from being able to let it out, letting us to really see where we are in our mindset, is the restraints that we put on our thoughts and the restraints that we put on God. So I'm giving you permission right now to just cry. Cry about the things that you lost, the things that you feel like you didn't get. Cry about the way that you feel, the way that it sucks, the guilt, the shame, everything. Cry about it. Let it out. Let it out. I mean, if you are by yourself, this is the perfect moment for you to just express your emotions. Just emote in this moment. Feel all the feelings. Just acknowledge the fact that you're sad. Acknowledge the fact that you feel like this, that you were mad, that you were angry, that you feel like you made these mistakes, that you did this thing wrong, you did this thing, that thing wrong. Whatever it is that happened in your life, just acknowledge it and let it go. I know it's hard. I know you're feeling like, and Steve Harvey said this in one of his interviews. He said that sometimes we feel like, oh, you want to stop that relationship because you guys didn't work out, or you feel like he's going to be happier without you. Now, I need you to take a moment. This is going to be really difficult, but you're saying that you love this guy. And for men, you're saying you love this woman. If you truly love them the way that Christ loves you, wouldn't you want them to be happy? That's something that I had to think of. I had to think, do I really truly love this person, or am I being selfish? I hate to say it like that, but when you think about what only benefits you, when you know that you guys are not good for each other, when you know that it's not the right relationship, when you know that's not the person God has for you, wouldn't you want to release that person so that you can get what God has for you and they can get what God has for them? Whatever that is, whatever that looks like. And it starts with release. It starts with you acknowledging, yes, you felt this way. And also, if you truly love someone else, you would want them to be happy. I remember there were so many things in my life that I thought that I was going to have that it didn't work out that way. You know, sometimes you hear people talk about, oh, yeah, I was going to be 25 with 2 kids with a house on the hill and a picket fence and all the things, right? And you reach 30 and you don't have kids, or you don't have whatever the thing is in your mind that you envisioned for your life. But I think that's part of the problem. We think about what we want and not what God wants for us in our life. We think about what will satisfy us, what will make us look good, what will make us feel better, what will make us, I, right? Instead of thinking about others, instead of thinking about serving, instead of thinking about, yes, I'm going to pour into myself and heal the healthy way, the good way. Because the worst thing that you could do, like when I was in the single season, is I was really feeling like I just, when I was younger, I wanted to just hop into a relationship. I felt like, okay, I could just, this is over. Let me just hurry up and get with someone else so that I don't have to deal with the pain. And it was not serving me. It didn't help. God really, really got on me hard. He was like, listen, you're going to take this time to heal the right way. I'm going to need you to really take a beat. Like, don't just. And I started listening to TG's video, Tony Gaskin Jr., and he was talking about like the best ways to heal. I did like a course, Healing 101 or something. And that's what really inspired the name for this video and this series. It's going to be about 10 videos long, so this is the one of 10. And it really talked about focusing on yourself, and it really talked about taking the time to heal. I know we don't like to hear that because it really hurts really bad when someone crushes your heart, when you had this idea in your mind of how the relationship was going to go, or how the person was going to treat you, or how long it was going to last. And when it ends, it's like all of those hopes, all of those things, that aspirations, those dreams that you put on that person are no longer available. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is that you don't put your hopes in a person, you put your hopes in God. Maybe you start to believe in yourself instead of believing in another individual. It's nothing wrong with believing something for someone else, but don't put that person as an idol in your life thinking that they will remedy all of your problems. Like being with them is going to be the solution to loneliness. It's going to be the cure to codependency. It's going to be the cure to all of the things that you want in life. You're just going to automatically get it because this person is in your life. Like it's going to be couple goals and vacations, all the things, right? You have this idea in your head of how it's going to look to other people instead of how it's going to feel inside of you. Like how does your heart feel with this person? Do you even feel seen? Do you even feel loved the right way? And before, I couldn't answer this question because I really didn't know God. I knew that God was real. I mean, I knew God. I knew of God, but I didn't know God. And I and we don't need to get all in semantics and all the things saying, well, you'll never truly know God because God is omnipotent and omnipresent and all the things, right? We know that. But I don't mean that I know exactly how God thinks, how God's going to work things out, what's going to happen in the future. I just I got God. Like I know all of God. Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's a difference between knowing that God exists and having a relationship with God. Before, I had no relationship with God. My idea of prayer, and I have to admit this because transparency is going to be the best thing to help other people. You can't help somebody if you're pretending to be somebody else. You can't help somebody if you just want to put this perfect presence on so that people can see an image of who you are instead of who God truly created you to be. So as as I was thinking, I was like, I really didn't have a relationship with God. I really didn't. My idea was a prayer was, God, thank you for not letting me get in this accident. God, thank you for making this doctor's report come out very well. God, thank you for getting me this job. Like, it was all contingent upon things or circumstances, not on building a real relationship with God. It wasn't really me reading my Bible or going to Bible study or going to church or trying to be kind and loving to other people. I didn't even know what love was. Let's be real. Most of us don't know what love is, and people can say, well, I love food, I love this, I love that. We all have different ideas of what love is to us. But when you truly know the love of God, ooh, it really changes your whole mind. Like, there's no way I could have imagined, after knowing the love of God, being with any person that I didn't grow to love, or that didn't truly show me the kindness or the love of God. And I'm not saying they're going to be God in my life, but there's a certain way that people move when they know God. When they know God, they lead with love. They lead with kindness. They're more understanding. It's not just a judgmental thing. It's more of an observation to help you become a better person. They might show you bad parts of you, or they might call you on your stuff, but they're not doing it to just put you down. They're doing it because they really truly want you to be the best version of yourself, because they can see something in you that you can't see in yourself. And that's where it takes maturity. You have to be willing to say, and emotionally intelligent enough to say, I'm going to receive the feedback that you've given me. Like, yes, I didn't like hearing that I'm not perfect, but nobody is perfect but God. If that person is telling you something that's truly going to help you, that's truly coming from the right heart posture, ooh, that's what it is. It's the heart posture. Sometimes one person can say something to you and you'd be like, ooh, like, you had to say it like that? Like, that's so rude. And then another person could say the exact same thing from a loving place. And it's like, it wasn't great to hear, but I know they love me. Like, I know that they're looking out for me. I know that they want my best interest. They have my best interest in mind. They really want me to succeed. They really want me to be prosperous. They really want me to have a good life. They really, really, truly love me. And I don't mean the haters that are saying things that are trying to put you down and then trying to build you up because they feel like they have control. I mean someone who truly, genuinely cares about your well-being. There's a complete difference. And when you know the love of God, you inside, like, I couldn't, it didn't sit right with me when I wasn't being treated the right way. I couldn't just be like, after knowing God, I couldn't just settle for any relationship, because I had to make sure that I was being treated the way that Christ intended for me to be treated. And it's so funny because I really didn't know. I didn't know before. I didn't know what God's intention was for my life. I didn't know what my purpose was. I really truly didn't know what love was at all. I might have been attracted to someone and really really desired to be with them because of selfish benefits, but not because of love. And it's totally different knowing God and having God lead you in a relationship, or lead you in a marriage or partnership, or lead you as being a parent, or in every area of your life, than you just doing it on your own strength. You need God in all areas to be able to help you through this thing. And I have to give all honor and glory and praise to God, because I don't think I could have made it out of the relationship. I don't think that I could have made it to healing without Him. That's the number one thing. Before you cry, and you might need to cry out to God, like with a good heart posture, because you're going to really need Him to make it through this healing process. It's not going to be easy, and I'm going to step with you, because sometimes some of y'all may not have had a relationship at Christmas. Some of y'all may have been in a relationship, but you're still healing. Maybe you are single in this moment, and you just need time to be able to figure out what it is that you want to do, or focus on yourself so that you could build up your self-esteem and start to heal and all the things. But these next 10 videos are going to help you figure out how to heal properly, because that's one of the things that I noticed with the society that we're in now, it's really hard for people to take a moment to heal because there's so many people looking at you because we have social media and all of the things. So you want to appear to be okay. But I challenge you to really heal. Like, I know it's hard. I know it's going to suck being alone, and it's going to suck not having a warm body. It's going to suck with people seeing you and feeling sorry for you, or people looking at you like, oh, poor her, or people looking and being in a relationship and being like, well, at least I got a man, at least I got a husband. Listen, do not covet anybody's relationship because you do not know what they're going through. And I hope and I pray that people are happy and healthy. They're seeking God and they're building a stronger relationship, but you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I used to have a moment. Ooh, I'm gonna tell this because this was a long time ago. There was a girl, and I knew her. We worked together, all the things. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to tell somebody's business. I'm saying it because I think it will bless somebody's soul. Someone that's out there coveting someone else's relationship. Someone that's looking at couple goals and thinking, I want a relationship like theirs. I feel like this will really help you. And it really blessed me when I look back hindsight. I'm like, oh, ooh. So this girl, she was in this relationship with this guy, and they look so happy. They really, he would open doors for her, and you know how people say, oh, he's chivalrous because he's opening doors. Listen, it's nothing wrong with the guy opening the doors, but that does not mean that he is loving. That does not mean he's kind. That does not mean he bears any of the fruits of the spirit. That does not mean that he will treat her right just because he opened the door for her. That just means that he opened the door. Yes, that's chivalrous, but that does not mean that equates to character or his core values. So always remember that. And also, I would be looking and I'd be like, oh my gosh, they're so happy. It's so beautiful to see them together, and it just seems like she's so good. And she would never like say anything that was going on in her relationship or anything else, but I just always assumed that they were happy. I always assumed that they were good together, that everything was fine. And mm-mm-mm. They broke up eventually. And the stuff that this woman had to go through, oh my gosh, my heart hurts for her because I had no idea that she was going through all those things behind closed doors, behind the scenes. Like, ooh, mm-mm-mm. And I'm not saying that every relationship that looks good isn't good. I'm just saying that use this as a point of reference and knowing that what God has for you is for you. Stop coveting other people's relationships. Stop coveting marriage. Stop coveting the job, whatever it is. Stop coveting other people's things that's not yours. If it was yours, God would give it to you. If something is grace for you, it will come to you. God is not just going to hold something away from you that He has for you. God is not that type of God. God is loving. He would never want you to suffer. He would never want you to have to feel that pain. And anything that you feel in pain is going to be used for the good of the kingdom. It's going to benefit you. God will replace everything that you have 10 times what it is that you think that you had in your life. And I think it's important for us to always remember that. She literally, oh, can I say this? She lost a child. She was in a, physical altercating relationship, and it caused her to lose her child. But the whole time on the outside, she looked so happy. On the whole time on the outside, it looked like they were couple goals. It looked like they were so happy, and the whole time she was hurting. I really don't want anybody watching this video to suffer in silence. I don't want you to feel like you have to stay there because of the longevity of the relationship, because you've been together 10 years, 5 years, a year, 6 months, whatever the time is, it doesn't matter, because quality goes over quantity every single time. There is nothing better than being with someone who really truly cares for you the right way. I don't care how it looks to other people. You are not living your life for other people. You are living your life for God. You are living your life so that you are actually truly filled with joy, contentment, and happiness. And happiness is built on happenings. Yes, we don't need to be semantical. Be all about the semantics. Listen, your well-being, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your physical well-being is more important than what it looks like to any other person in this world. Stop worrying about what anybody else thinks about what you do in your life. Know that as long as you are living your life to the best of your ability and focusing on God first above everything else, you are doing everything that you need to do. That guy does not complete you. That job does not complete you. That bank account does not complete you. What completes you is God. God will give you everything that you need so that you could heal properly, so that you could be the person that you were intended to be. You don't have to be with someone to be happy. And I don't mean that you shouldn't aspire to be in a relationship. If you know that God told you you're going to be with somebody, then allow God to give you the power of discernment so you can tell when it's him and when it's not. Allow God to truly guide you so that you can say and be the person that he intends for you to be in relationships, so that you don't just turn to being a selfish person. So you truly go after what it is that God wants you to have, so that you truly are a woman of God, that you respect this man the way that he's supposed to be respected, so that you're treated like Christ loves the church. But it starts with you. It starts with your mindset. It starts with you not worrying about what anybody else thinks. It starts with you worrying about what God thinks. Are you really truly being pleasing to God? Are you living your life the way that God would intend for you to live it? No matter what anybody else thinks. Sometimes we focus so much on other people, like people pleasing, like, oh, if this person accepts me, if this person calls me their favorite, if this person sees me, then I must be valuable. No, you're valuable because God created you valuable. You're valuable because it took billions of years for you to be formed. Because God intentionally created you. You are here for a reason. And that reason is not just only to be in a relationship. That reason is not just only to be in this job that you think is the best thing since sliced bread. It's nothing wrong with being in a relationship, and it's nothing wrong with being in a job that your dream job. But don't let the job make you feel like you are enough because of a job, or you are enough because of a marriage, because of a person. I honestly stayed married because I wanted to prove to everybody else that I could be in a relationship and that I would be married, regardless of how God felt about it, regardless of how I felt internally. And I don't want that for anybody. I want every person watching this video to know their worth, to really know their value, to know that they are valuable, to know that they are worthy of everything that God has for them. Like, we might not be worthy of his grace and his mercy, but if God intended for you to have something, then accept it. Stop being like, oh no, God, I can't accept that. Oh no, God, you sent this good guy. He's not really my type. Well, is your type somebody that treats you bad? That's the thing. Type. You got to really know that you deserve to be treated like Christ loves the church. You deserve to be honored. You deserve to be treated the right way. I don't think you understand, and it starts with you treating yourself the right way. Stop negative talking yourself. Stop talking down to yourself. Stop saying that you can't do all of these things that God already gave you grace to achieve. If God graced you for it or to it, then he will grace you through it. There is nothing that you can't do with God on your side. If God is for you, he is more than the whole world against you. Always remember that. And remember to love yourself.